Balance of Power on Bloomberg TV and radio. I'm Joe Matthew. Joining us now is famed pollster Frank Luntz, now CEO of FIL. Frank, it's great to see you. Thank you for being here. Presidents, as you well know, are often judged or defined by the way they handle situations they never asked for. And I wonder how you think Joe Biden will be defined by this one, the standoff with Russia and Ukraine.
Well, on a personal level, my grandparents are Ukrainian, so I feel like I have a stake in it. And on a national level, we know that the moment that Joe Biden began to deteriorate, his favorability, his credibility began to come apart was because of the failed Afghan pullout. So this has to be weighing very heavily. If the Russians decide to react, we all have to hope that they don't. Biden will be held responsible because of his press conference on Friday, even though he took it back. The fact that the president would say to a globe that's listening to him, it depends on the size of the incursion, is really not what you want to be doing. But it's more than that. You've got inflation, you've got shortages, you've got increased crime, you've got chaos at the border. This is a president who did not bank on all these things happening at the same time. And it is clearly weighing on his job approval right now.
It sounds like you just rolled out the playbook for Republicans in the midterms, Frank. What will the message be? We've heard so much about inflation throughout the whole Build Back Better debate coming into the new year. But a lot has happened, a lot more layers in that message, I suspect, as we head for Election Day.
Well, you're correct. And just what's happened in the stock market in the last 5 days, nobody was expecting. I guess when you stop priming the pump, when you start injecting all that money into the economy and you see inflation hitting everything from fuel to food, and it's things that people experience every single day, there's going to be a reaction. There's going to be impact. The issue right now is restoring that sense of faith in the future, which the president talked about exactly 1 year ago when he gave his inaugural address. He said, this is a new beginning. This is a chance to reaffirm what makes us special as Americans. Over the last year, the numbers, you can see the numbers right there. These are dramatic declines.
They sure are.
It means that whether you are paying for it or whether you are investing, this is a huge impact on the average American. And it's going to manifest itself as we move towards the election.
You pointed to Afghanistan early in this conversation, Frank. How much is Afghanistan and our withdrawal last year informing the steps that the White House is taking now, including its messaging?
Well, it didn't seem to work at the time. And I know that they're concerned because one example is merely a case study. But if you have two international failures, and this is the second time we've had to evacuate our embassy, with two international failures in the same year, the public tends to take notice and they tend to hold the people responsible accountable.
So when you balance the situation overseas with the economy, you've pointed to both. You've walked the line between both since we started here. Which one is going to be more important for Joe Biden in the midterms?
I'll answer that question based on the research that Abby Eisenhower and our friends at the Conversate Labs have been doing, which is the great rethink, the great resignation. There are people who are changing jobs today at increasing numbers, that they are seeking a different kind of communication from the CEO. And in fact, this is a business show watched by CEOs. Quite frankly, it is not just a political failure that we're seeing right now. It's a communication failure because the CEOs aren't communicating to their employees that they matter. They're not communicating the things that matter most to the employees, not just compensation, but work-life balance, job security, health, safety, and most importantly, that they're not communicating to their employees that they respect, appreciate, and value their service to the company.
But we've got unemployment at 3.9%, Frank. We understand that we're coming pretty darn close to the definition, fulfilling the definition of full employment. Are people going to find themselves on the side of the road without a job at some point?
Well, that's why we did the research, and that's why Conversate Labs did the research. What they found was that more and more people are going to take the decision to leave work over the coming 12 months, and that CEOs themselves have the ability through their communication, through their strategic planning, to prevent this. But until they speak on the issues that matter most to people, and I want to emphasize work-life balance, because that's being forgotten in the current conversations, then this great resignation is going to increase, and that will just increase the level of instability. You got it in the stock market. Now you're about to have it in the job market as well.
Oh, something else, from the midterms to the big quit Frank Luntz, thank you.